Hey everybody, it's Jang here with a look at a Lego Duplo set called Play House. A 2014 mid-year release, comes with 83 pieces. If you can believe it, this here is the set that motivated me to try out Lego Duplo set reviews. So let's take a closer look at what comes with it and see why. Most of the pieces in this set go towards making this big old house, and it's essentially a large-scale Lego dollhouse. And it's perfect in that regard because it's nice and open. You can easily reach in, you can take your figures, you can put them all the way in there. There's no real need to get your hands stuck and stuff, and especially for younger kids, they're going to be able to get through these side entrances, put the figures in there. And that's really what you want for something like this, is the ability to put the figures in there and actually get in-place role play going on. You see that the house has a nice thick wall over on this side that's completely covered. This down here at the bottom is actually intended to be a little mail slot, and you can also open it up, use it as a window, but it's just a place where you can deliver a package. Coming around from the back, again, more space that you can reach around and just get in there and put different figures and things in place from different angles. That's nice. You got another window back here which you can just open up and use to look inside. No real access from the back up here. You really have to take the entire roof off in order to get into that section. But there is a door over here on the side. That's a little bit awkward. I think that's just intended to be more of a window to stay closed when it's used up here. But of course it is Duplo, it is Lego, so these things can be rebuilt in different ways. Let's look up a little bit more closely. Down here on the bottom floor, obviously you've got the main front door over here, and that can also be easily opened up. And then this is pretty much the kitchen section here. And on the back, all this looks like it's kind of a wallpaper insert, but it shows pictures of all kinds of things going on in the kitchen. That can be removed, and you can swap those between different wall panels. That's pretty nice. This is a sink. It has a little drain in the bottom of it. There is your kind of stove setup, and there's a pot that you can use here. It does have holes in the bottom, which are both for safety and also to allow things to drain out if they're used with actual fluids. But in place of actual fluids, to keep things less messy, here is an orange juice, a fresh squeezed orange juice block that just represents the stuff that's there, but you can just move it around easily. It's just one brick. It's all just printed. Got a nice little drawer here, which really isn't going to hold anything from this set because none of the parts are that small. But kids can use it for imaginary play, or if they have small things like maybe a small marble or something might be able to fit into there. And then this can be seen as a coffee maker, the way that it's arranged here, for kids that are familiar with households that have a coffee maker already in them. Or you can just see this as being a tea kettle, which it looks more like, and use it for imaginary tea time. Does not actually hold any sort of fluid or liquid in there because it does have the hole in there. Make sure that there's not a choking risk on that. If a kid gets it stuck in their mouth, they can still breathe through it, but also it's not gonna hold any liquid, so it's just something to keep in mind. However, there are no teacups included with this set, so you really have to kind of stretch your imagination on the drinking part, because there's nothing to pour into unless you want to use one of these use this pot as the thing to represent what you're going to be drinking from. The second floor up here is the bathroom. As you can see on the back, another one of those panels that you can pop out, and they've got a couple of toothbrushes up there, so that's good, and also something that can be used to represent soap. You've got the vanity over here. Does not have a faucet, but you can imagine that this is the wash bowl. It has a toilet with a seat that can be brought up, so that's very important for understanding the gender roles with the use of the toilet seat and getting kids to understand how that all works at an early age if they haven't by this time. And you got the bathtub over here with a shower head, and then this is kind of a veil style thing, which to me really doesn't work out all that well the way that it comes down. It's trying to seem like a cover shade around around the edges, kind of like a shower curtain, you know, but it's just a little bit awkward to me. It's also a little bit awkward to play with. I can only imagine for young kids especially, it would be something a little bit frustrating, because unless you get it just right, you know, it's not something where you just put it there and it goes right. You know, you have to put some dexterity into it and really think about it. So something that especially the younger kids would probably want to leave off, and something for parents to think about leaving off from this particular build. Another little drawer over here is the same thing as we had on the first floor, and you can move that around. And it looks like you've got kind of almost like a bedroom looking wallpaper unit over here on this side. So that's just another thing that can be, you can see that as being a bedroom area or a playroom kind of area, or you can reconfigure that to make something that makes a little bit more sense, or that more closely matches either your own real house or what the kid would want to have as a real house in a perfect world. The very top floor kind of looks like an attic, but it's arranged as the bedroom, the communal bedroom here in this case. You've got 2 beds, and that's for the mommy and the daddy, and then you've got a small bed over here on the side for the kid. And we'll look at the figures in a minute, but they've got these kind of blanket units, which is just all one thing with a pouch in it, so you can slip a figure in there. Let me go ahead and get the child figure that's included in the set, and you see you can kind of get her all tucked in really nicely. So just reinforcing the value of tucking in properly, and then just put the figure right in there, and looks very comfy. And you've got the parents there, and they've got the different color or different design, and each one has a set. And of course you can, again, rearrange things, move those around however you want. Just got the tall, well, not so tall ceiling, but the angled ceiling, and again, the doors on the sides probably give you a little bit of access if you have a little bit of trouble getting a figure into the bed on that side, but mostly in this configuration, again, just see that as a window. Here's some more stuff that's included with the set. So you've got a dining table here, which is great because you can use these pieces of bread to represent what's going on for a meal. It just has one large thing on the bottom, so you can attach that at the corner, or you can put it in the middle, or you can just set it down. It's, you know, it's something that's able to stand up on its own. You can also bring out your juice to here, you can bring out your tea kettle to here, but again, you're just missing things to drink with. This is a big old stack of apples, or you could see it as being cherries or any other sort of fruit, and that can be used on the table as well. It's a little bit tight fit to get 2 or more things onto the table, but 3 chairs for the 3 figures, which we're going to see in just a second. And you also get this present, which can be delivered from the post office, can be delivered through the mail slot on the side of the thing, and can be given to the child. And then you're able to put together this plant with a flower on the top, which is just made of 3 identical parts. You just have one that has a different color to it, so you can kind of spread these out if you want to. 3 people figures included here, with 2 adults, 1 male, 1 female, and the 1 female child, who definitely has taken on many of the features of her mom. And you can see these are pretty nicely printed, and they come pre-assembled. They do not come apart, so nice and safe. No print on the backs of these. All of these, if you're not familiar with Duplo figures, can hold the peg-sized things in their hands, like the tea kettle. They can also sit down very effectively, and they can move their arms forward, and the heads can also turn to the sides. But there's actually one member of the family here that is missing. They also include a pet. A cat is included. Kitty cat is included with this set, so that's nice. That's a pretty large size of one, but that's good for younger kids to hold on to. Has a nice smile kind of molded in there. Yeah, just a good additional member of the family, really. Check out what they show on the back of the box. You've got some different ways that they suggest for putting things together. And this one is interesting because it's just a little bit shorter, a little bit more ornate. It's a different design of house. But this over here is even more interesting to me still, because I feel like this spreads things out a lot more, makes things a lot more accessible to play in there, especially around this kind of dining area. Also, they've rearranged the mail chute to be more like an oven over there. I think that's just a good idea in general. Looks like the woman might be out picking apples. And then the height of the whole thing is just not as great, which I think is better for younger kids to build. The big size of this house is impressive, but the process of building does involve some steps that could be a little bit frustrating for younger kids, I think, especially these columns with 3 of these pieces, these thin pieces stacked up on top of each other. You've got one of those columns here. You've also got one of those columns here. And as you're building those up, or as a young kid is building those out, because they're so tall, putting one piece on top of the other, the first one is kind of okay. The next one just becomes a lot more difficult, I think, to line up and to bring together, to really tighten these pieces up together, just because it's not very stable. If these pieces were 2 studs wide as well as 2 studs thick, right now they're 1 by 2. If they were 2 by 2, then I think it would be a lot easier. But I think some of the younger kids might have a little bit of trouble just getting this process or this part of building to work. You've got one of those columns here, one here, and then there's a third one over here. But this one at least has some support on the side, so it's not able to move as you're putting a piece down if you don't put the piece down perfectly. What do you think of this? A completely different way to build a single story structure using only the pieces from this one single set. So you end up having kind of a combined kitchen and dining room area in the front. You got your bedroom back there under the overhang of the angled part of the roof, a distinct bathroom area over here, and the kid gets a playroom area with the kid's bedroom area back over here. Use your imagination to come up with different ways to put together these same parts to make your own dream home. So all in all, this whole set is a very good, positive thing. There are just a handful of different things that I don't think are entirely age appropriate, especially for the younger end of the spectrum, the 2 to 5 range they're looking at. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like this set needed to be a girl-specific set. I feel like something like this could be equally targeted towards boys and girls, especially on the younger side, by just taking the pink out and using a more gender-neutral color. Even as it is, I think that boy children at the younger end of the age spectrum this is made for would have a great time with this set. Really all it needs is that you add in one other small little set on the side to include a young boy figure for the kid to relate to. So now you've seen the set, you've heard my thoughts about it. Please feel free to share your thoughts about it in a YouTube comment down below. I'm gonna go build some more stuff so I can bring you even more videos, and I hope that you'll stick around to check them out. Bye for now.